For cheap gold, items and other boosts for Diablo 4, visit aoeah.com. Check out the link in the description, you get 3% off with the code ARIAT. Hello and welcome everybody. Unfortunately I didn't manage to test all classes extensively enough by myself, the possibilities were too numerous and the time too limited. Nevertheless, I have seen and heard enough to form my opinion. Let's talk about the class changes first. Overall, there is a lot more variety coming to the players, so you may be able to play almost any skill in the future. Of course there are builds that will be particularly strong, but T100 dungeons and duel kills will be possible for all kinds of builds. So you can also have fun with some non-meta builds. You will be much less forced to play certain builds. Stronger builds can challenge in the pit and with the new level 200 bosses. This is actually a pretty good solution, because the advantage of meta builds is not that important anymore. High levels in the pit just give more materials, and level 200 bosses only drop the same items as usual, just a few more. The 5-fold price of summoning materials has to pay off somehow. For the Barb, the double swing Dust Devil build has been very popular and powerful on the PTR. We can also call him Devil Swing Barb. But Hota fans don't need to be sad though, Hota is still strong. And I also tried out the Whirlwind Barbarian, with Leap, Ground Stomp and Call of the Ancients. Something completely different, and that also seems to have potential. Upheaval also does fine like I've heard, and in the PvP area I even met some strong rend Barbs. For mages, the Firewall Firebolt build with the new gauntlets is very strong, but my Frozen Orb Sork also was a lot of fun, and very convenient. The chill effect slow or even freeze enemies, you never run out of mana, and you can basically play it like a one-button char. Unfortunately, my Orb Sork was still a bit weak on bosses, but her equipment was still incomplete, so I don't want to make a final judgment here yet. But in the new season, I'll probably build the Fire Mage first. I'm a Firewall fan anyway, and I enjoy that new playstyle. Further, the build was also very strong in my PvP tests. Thanks to Hectic Aspect, I was even able to have 100% uptime on Flame Shield. So I was permanently immune, just by a little cooldown reduction and increased Flame Shield duration on the equipment. This also made it easy to kill the level 200 bosses. But the Hectic Aspect will probably change or even disappear because of this. I've also seen Ball Lightning and Blizzard builds on the PTR, they still seem to work, and maybe even Incinerate might become a serious option. I haven't been able to put enough energy into it to see what the build can do fully upgraded. It certainly won't be an S tier, but some potential is there. The Necromancer I only played as a summoner, but Bone Spear should still work fine, and I've also seen some Shadow Necros, especially in the PvP areas. Unfortunately I didn't have enough time for Rogue and Druid, but I've heard that there was a bug which caused Hurricane to do incredibly high damage, but I assume that this will be fixed until the start of the season. A pure summon build was still too weak, but Lightning Storm, Pulverize or Nado build still should work, as will the Balder Hurricane build. For PvP, I could imagine a Shred Wolf with Rabies. I would have liked to test that. For the Rogue, there was a grenade build that ran level 200 pits easy, and in the PvP area, I've actually seen a melee build again. I'm really sorry that I have so little information and content for rogues, but somehow the other classes are much more fun to me. That's just my personal feeling. However, I'm sure you'll find good rogue builds on other YouTube channels. My strengths are definitely Barb and Sork, and I also got some advanced knowledge on Necros and Druids. But talking about the Rogue, I only got few experience yet. Maybe that will change someday. For good builds, I recommend the YouTubers Vudio, Gymnasium and Lucky Luciano. The Rogue players in my community mostly orientate on one of those three. Now a few words about the new item system. I think it's great that you'll soon be able to trade legendary items and uniques with other players, so trading will also get a bigger role in D4. The fact that you no longer need souls to reroll items is also great, and the gold costs have been capped, so they no longer go through the roof. 3 affixes on the items is also okay, less to read when checking the loot, and you will get acceptable base items much faster. The greater affixes still give enough room for further improvement in the end. However, I think they should reduce the greater affixes to 1 or 2 per item, because otherwise the variance is too great. I have seen a player finding a T-Bolts on which all 4 affixes were great. That somehow disturbs the balance. When tempering items, you can add additional affixes by different recipes, so up to 5 different mods are possible in total, more than on unique items. The recipes have to be farmed first, and you have to use 2 different categories. Most recipes I found in Nightmare dungeons or in Helltide, but I guess they can drop anywhere. Finally, unique items and fully tempered items can be masterworked by the new 12 level upgrading system. I like the idea of a random affix getting massively increased every 4 levels, but the animation when upgrading takes far too long, especially in case of a fail. Fails happen too often here, and they eat your mats for nothing. At least you can get the necessary resources quite quickly if you run high levels in the pit, and you can also convert the mats downwards at the alchemist. I would also like to point out a new aspect that could become very powerful. Most mages play at least 2 defensive skills, often even 3 or 4. And this aspect should probably give you an incentive to try without. For every defensive skill we don't have in the bar, there is a damage bonus, and if we don't use any at all, the bonus is even doubled at the end. That could be over 300% multiplicative damage from just a single aspect, and we can still put it on a 2-handed weapon. But not using any defensive skills could be really hard though, because then you are a real glass cannon. By the way, the passive skill glass cannon has also been changed and basically gives the same effect as this aspect, just lower. Last but not least, a few words about the PvP. Barb and Mage have been extremely powerful again on the PTR, but hopefully the changes will rebalance the situation. Immortal sword builds are definitely not fair, and the Barbarian also exaggerates with his Dust Devil explosions. But there were also positive things. I saw several Summon and Shadow Necros in the PvP area who did fine, a few melee hunters and also Lightning and Cold Mages. What do you think about the upcoming changes? Feel free to write it in the comments. I'll say goodbye, take care and may the loot be with you.
Ótimo. Follow me. Come on. Thank you. Goodbye.